Yo, what's up? It's me, Doc, from SampleKings.com. And of course, I'm going to talk about something on the MPC today. Obviously, you can see the software in the background. I do a lot of lessons with people on all kinds of softwares. For my website, I do lessons like $15 an hour, and people sign up for lessons and want to learn more about their MPCs and get intricate in how to actually make a better product. And what I've noticed over the years, actually, this past year particularly, with the newer update of the MPC 2.15 and recently this year, people are getting more into the software. Because generally what we do is we take that hard drive from the MPC 1 we got here and MPC Live 2, and then we'll take it and we'll connect it to our computer and we'll mix inside the computer because it offers us more power. As you already know, there isn't that much power in MPC, but it's great for making beats. But when I want to mix something up and get a really good sound out of the MPC, it can be done. And a lot of guys are starting to do that now. So I want to talk about this idea of creating a quality track. So let's go. We'll hear about this track first of all. That's kind of cool. There's 2 bars right there, and this is this track. Now, you heard how loud it sounds, right? It's not too bad. And what I want to do here is show you what's going on here. So I can come to here. It's a kick drum, right? And we can see here we have the A1 is a kick drum. That's our sort of snare, hi-hat, 2 hi-hats, another kick drum, the snare, a little percussion, sort of like an open, crappy type hi-hat. But you get the idea. I have 4 different sounds right there. We see how they sound. And you'll notice here, for example, there's reverb on this one. This is 8. That's the reverb right there. I'll come to here. Nothing here. Nothing there. Oops, there was something here. We have a little reverb and a transient shaper right here, right? A transient shaper right there to give us the right transient shape. As you can see, this has a little bit less attack, but for a little more than that. And then, of course, we have our shaper right here for our wet and dry. So this is mostly wet. We're using more of the shaper sound than anything else. Now, this is all well and good. And we play this track back. It sounds pretty cool. Got no problem with that. My thing is the output. You will see here, this is the program name right here. And these 4 squares represent that program output. And so if I come to here, I select program here. This is the same thing in the program, but here's my master output. And that's output 1 and 2. The king crown implies this is the main out, right? Our summation amp. And all the other sounds all come to this one place, the summation amp, and right there we get our levels. Loud or soft, we want to make sure our levels are good. Now if I play this track back, you'll see it's not too bad, right? But I'm not near 0 dB here. I prefer to be near 0 dB actually. Now what I will normally do, I will go and say, well, you know something? I want to add more to the track and make it sound louder. And so to do that here in the software, I can go to the mixing section. But before I do that, I can do it right here on the track. So I can come to the track right here. I have some sort of plug-in, or we'll say a rack effect, a bunch of racks, or a bunch of effects in a rack. So I go to here that says load effects, and I've got something down here, and I think this is it right here. Yep, and you see it right here. It loads into right here. You saw that? I went to here, I loaded it in, I got good with it. So I can do this again, for guys who don't realize that. Let's say load, and I keep an empty one here too as well. Where's the empty one here? Here's the empty. I load that in, so I come here and load again. So you come in and load, and I want to load this effect. This is my mastering light effect here. I load this and you'll see I have 4 different inserts here already. I have a parametric EQ on the very top. This is designed for me to get some punch out the drums, no matter what. This will work with any track I pull up. This is kind of cool. So I can pull another track into the system, give it a brand new sequence, and pull that sequence in, and this will apply to that. So everything inside the MPC software or inside your MPC standalone, this will be on the master output. So I'm going to come in here now and play this back. Do you see this output here? That's going to 0. Let me take it off. That's how it sounded before. Put it back on. Now one thing you'll notice, it's not going above 0 dB. It's getting this close to right there. I do not want to go over 0 dB. The reason being we got to have headroom. Headroom is the most important thing to have. This way, if someone's got a banging Jeep and he plays it loud, it will not distort because there's still headroom inside that mix. If you go to a club and your boy's a DJ and he gets a file of this or plays on some CD or whatever, he's mixing it in to see how it sounds for you in a club, it won't distort. It'll still have that big sound to it. Hit a bass, hit the drums, the keyboards, it's mixed properly. I turn it off. And we're back to this low sound. And this is what I'm talking about. You've got to have your output set up to the point where it's like, that sounds good. I like the way that sounds, and you want to perk it up somewhat. Now, I actually also sell this. This is like one of my favorite setups. I'll explain it to you right now, though. Right here, I've got a parametric EQ, obviously. Here, I want to make sure the bass is in the right frequency. So here, as you can see, I'm around 70. That's where your bass is at. So I will have a frequency chart. You'll see right here, this is a bass guitar. Here's a kick drum. Here's the bottom here to give me the frequency I'm in. Here's the sub, which is 50, and we can go from here to about here, which is about 70. And so I want to get that punch out this bass drum, right? And so when I go back to the track right here, I'm back in my track now, I know I want to keep this at 70. So I use an EQ chart to bring out the features I want to bring out. And essentially I want to bring out more of the drums here when I'm using this EQ chart and keep everything else where it should be at, because the sounds already have some effects on those separate sounds. And I want to make sure the drums have a good balance in this mix. So I have this thing here called the Light Smile. And this is in the parametric EQ. And so when I play it back, I get that sound I like. This is at 0 dB right here, right? Just about 0 dB. Now my highs are set here, and you'll see here that's at 4.11 kilohertz. This here is going to be a 2. 2 is the magic where I have stuff at. I love this here too. The gain could be right about here. I'm not going to worry about the Q here. And then here, of course, this is at 288 or 2288. Now when I see this in my frequency chart, and I pull out this thing right here, let's go back to frequency chart over here again. There we go. And we get right here in my frequency chart, we're looking for a 288 right about here, right? So you notice here, a lot of the great sounds are within this area, whether it's a guitar, right, an organ, or a piano. 2288 in this area range, I want to keep this really nice and ready and open, right, to keep it ready to roll. Anything above here, 2K, is going to have some presence to it right here, as you can see right there. And that's why I use it that way. Now, I'll prefer to go back to the track again and play this back, and then we'll talk about a limiter here. I got a limiter right here. This is my limiter. I want to keep stuff limited. This is the initial setup. I just want to make sure my ceiling's right. Let me turn it off. Turn it back on. Keeps it very tight. Next I have here, that I don't use all the time, but in this track I want to use it. This is a stereo width device. And so I want to create a little bit more wideness to this overall sound. What happens inside this plugin is that it adds some of this delay setting here, which I could put a little bit more in. I'm not going to do that, but you can see it widens it up somewhat. In this process, I have low, mid, and high, and they're like, here's 100 and 100 right here, no problem. This is the level right here, and this is the panning. I'm not changing any of this. I'm just creating more width here. And you'll see here, we have a bunch of different setups we can use to also sides. We have more wider sound. So apply what works for you best. I prefer to keep it like this basically. Now, I also have one more device here that's inside my rack, which is the maximizer. And so this is my maximizer here. I'm using a mastering light here. On here. Now I could change it up too. I'm gonna go to here. You heard that? Too loud. I have to adjust my sound. That's what I prefer you to do. Sit down and go over and get your idea. Now, if you want to get my setup for it, I always look for $10 I sell it for from the site. You can contact me directly. The phone number is there on the site to contact me, and I can get you at least 4 or 5 of these. You can put in there and adjust for any mix. Now, what makes it so cool is that it works on everything. Let's go to here now. I'm going to go here to like a brand new track, right? A brand new track, but the output's the same. See that? The output's the same. It's going to be just a brand new song. So I'm going to go up to here. Let me see what I got here. We got something else up here I want to check out. Let's check out this right here. Right? We got the vocals here. Let's go to vocals here. Let's open up a program here. A sequence. Pull this down to here. We got vocal kits. Let's pull this one up. I'll turn this off here. See? I turn it off, that's what happens. Let's go to here. We're going to go to a Neo Soul. I'm going to go to here, Neo Soul. I'll pull up this one right here. Now I pulled up right in the track. I turn this effect off, all right? And this is going to be in sequence number 3. And I'll play it back. Now I'll turn the effect on. Now notice this. And so this mastering output I use all the time because I can set it up perfect. No matter what's going on, I keep it within that range. I tighten it up with the compression limiting. I make the EQ just right for the drum bounce and the bounce of the file. And I set my EQs properly so I get that overall really great sound. And this will help you in any production you do to get that positive sound out of the little mixes you're doing or a big mix you could be doing. This can be done in your MPC. Now I prefer to use my software on my computer because this is more power here. If you got any questions, hit me up at sampлекings.com. And of course, I do lessons. So don't worry about it. If you need a lesson, hit me up there too as well. The phone number's on the site too as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.